This is Michigan's retirement coach, Mike Douglas.
You can have $100 million and still be not sure, be uncertain. If uncertain. I'm so uncertain that I'm uncertain.
$100 million.
Can't even say the words right. Still be uncertain of your financial future. Why is that? And how do we create the certainty is what we are going to ask Mike Douglas here today on Michigan's Retirement Coach. This is, of course, Mike Douglas, a certified financial planner, president, CEO of, what is your official title of Life Plan Financial Design? President, CEO, owner.
Doer of all things.
Doer of all the things.
What's today, you know?
Yeah, right.
Sometimes it's janitor, sometimes it's repair guy, sometimes it's, most times it's CEO and president. But
the beauty of being a business owner.
Takes many hands.
It takes many, and you're required to wear many hats. MichigansRetirementCoach.com is our website and where to go to start the conversation with Mike and his team. Creating security in a world where we are continuously pegged, targeted, marketed at what's your number? 1 million, 5 million, 10 million. That's what we as a society are. It's hammered into our heads, Mike, that you got to have this number. And even people with $100 million are freaking out. Mm-hmm. So, shall we talk Odell? Let's just jump right into it. Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. He played 10 seasons in the NFL, including a Super Bowl championship with the LA Rams. In his career, he made over $100 million. Recently, however, he was on the Pivot podcast talking about how he struggled with that money despite how big it was. This is Odell Beckham Jr.
Can you make that last forever? And you always hear the people who ain't us and ain't been in the position like, oh, well, that would last a lifetime. Yeah, this job that I sacrificed my whole life for, they are giving me that. I didn't ask for the certain dollar amount or whatever, but we weren't taught about no financial literacy. We weren't taught this skill.
We weren't taught about no financial literacy. Said almost every American. I mean, we can all relate to that. $100 million we can't relate to, but we can relate to the mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, here's Mr. Odell with $100 million, obviously uncertain. Same thing can be boiled down to the rest of us. If it's $1 million, $5 million, whatever we've saved, $500,000. What does it teach us about planning for life after the paycheck stops?
I think what's interesting is that, when you hear athletes talk about money, and there is, for the record, zero sympathies ever given to these guys, right?
Right.
But we hear he earned over $100 million, which means he probably made like $30 million because he lived in New York for a good chunk of it and in California for a little bit of it. So for quite a few of these years, 50% of his money was gone to taxes.
Really?
Right out of the gate.
Okay.
And then 10%, not of his net, but of his contract, goes to his agents.
So if he has a $100 million contract, it's $10 million
goes to the agent.
Before that's no matter what you get paid after taxes, you have to pay $10 million. Wow, I didn't know that.
He gets 10% of what he got them to sign for.
Okay, got it.
So now we're down to $40 million. And again, nobody's crying over someone making $40 million. But when you start breaking that out, it's like, all right, all of a sudden he's already 60% down. And then how do you do this properly? Well, we're traveling and doing things. And on top of that, we're asking them to make really good adult decisions when you're young and dumb and rich. And I'm not saying that in a rude way, but like I think of 18 to 22-year-old Mike, if he was given tons of money and tons of fame and tons of access and celebrity, I would have bought some ridiculous cars and I would have bought a ridiculous house. Why? Because I would have been like that kid, Preston Waters on the movie Blank Check, right? Like just like been living it up. Why? Because my brain's not fully developed yet. And my prefrontal cortex isn't solid. I'm making stupid emotional decisions.
You're going to live forever. Your money will last forever.
Yeah.
There's this young, naive, it will forever attitude that we all have in our 20s. Reflect back upon yourself, dear listener. Think about where you were at 22.
And that's if it's me being super rich and all my friends still being regular poor, like 18 to 22-year-old poor.
Right, because you want your friends to come with you. So then you're like, I got this.
Right. what if all of your other friends were also rich and doing other crazy rich things because you all are getting paid a ton of money.
Gosh.
You're all traveling the country.
When does that
You're all
affect the
doing these
next?
things. And it's like the herd mentality in a bad way,
Yeah.
right? Oh my gosh, we all have millions of dollars. What should we do? And you just do all these stupid things. And I have to imagine the reasonable voice of reason of like a veteran who's been in the league 10, 15 years and goes, hey, you should save your money. You're gonna be like, hey, listen, old timer, I'm going to
I
be
got
here
this.
forever. I'm pretty invincible right now.
Yeah.
And so there's a element of sympathy I give them from the perspective of, I don't think I would have done much better at that age.
Yeah.
The next thing is that dollar amounts don't matter. Education matters. Not like if you need a bachelor's or master's in finance, but just an understanding of how money works and how you have to make it work is more important than the dollar amount you have saved. Because there are so many examples of pro athletes who have made way more money than any of like regular people or our clients have made, but yet they end up broke. Why? Because they didn't know how to do it. So you see that people with less money, without the biggest contracts, a lot of times lived a really good life. Generational, multi-generational money, family changing money, but yet some of the biggest numbers have fallen. So there are people who are elite at some things and they're typically bad at other things, right? Like if you're really, really good, like I'm talking best in the world at something like playing pro football or pro basketball, maybe you're not great at everything else in life because you're so maniacally focused on your one thing. So as directly relates to Odell Beckham, I understand what he's saying because he's also seen all these people and everyone around him says, you got $100 million. He says, I do not. I have like 40. And from there, every single thing you do is like another $1 million. So it doesn't go as far as people would think.
Yeah.
But there's also these counter arguments. There's Rob Gronkowski. There's Shaq.
Yeah.
There's Chad Johnson or Ocho Cinco. These guys who decided very early on, and someone spoke into their life and educated them very young. Because Rob Gronkowski never cashed his checks for playing for the Patriots for years.
I think I saw, I heard an interview or something. I think he was doing recently talking about how he still hasn't touched it. He
Right.
still
It's
has
just, it just goes in. I say cash his checks, but like they're just in an account that he doesn't do anything with because he lived off his endorsements. And he said, that way I've got this nest egg. That's a very wise thing to do. Chad Johnson saved tons and tons of money. He made a lot of money too. He's a great wide receiver, made tons of money. And he was still just eating McDonald's and doing regular stuff. And he is so notoriously frugal or cheap or stingy, however you want to call it. That is his brand. I am so cheap. I'm so frugal. I will not spend money.
Yeah.
And he has more money than he knows what to do with.
Yeah.
And even still today, that's how he still acts. So there's all these examples. And Shaq obviously owns hundreds of businesses, insanely wealthy. We've quoted him a lot on this program too and talking about it. But just understanding that money doesn't equate wisdom. And the accumulation of wealth, especially quickly, can be almost basically like a lottery winning. Making the NFL, and even though sometimes you earn it over 3, 5, 7 years, it's still equivalent of a lottery winning. Yeah. It's actually just insane money before you're prepared for it. And you have to have a comfort level. Meanwhile, we have people who live in regular retirement world. In a regular retirement world, they've saved over 30 years with the vision that I'm gonna have to spend this money down. And a lot of the same fears apply. What if I run out? What if the markets go bad? What if, I just need to understand. And so we walk them through this process of understanding that you need to understand how your income is going to be paid the rest of your life. What the best investment tool is it? Do I use preferred stocks? Do I use a 60-40 portfolio? Do I use the rule of 4%? Do I use annuities? What is the best option? How do I get the income I want? How do I minimize my tax bill over the course of my life? How do I protect my estate from taxes and probate and things like that? How do I build a plan that protects me in a market crash so that I'm opportunistic of good markets, but I'm also pulling back when I need to pull back? Just the understanding of a good retirement plan makes all the difference. Because if you can walk out of your meetings and the client says, now I get it, I feel better, and now I can go back to relaxing and enjoy my retirement, that's a good thing. Versus saying, hey, here's all the returns we got, and here is your alpha, and here's all the things we did from a very technical standpoint. And they said, but what does it mean?
Right.
So we can give all the technical data. We can talk about Sharpe ratios. We can talk about our correlation coefficients and how good of a portfolio it is. Or we can say, here's what your money did and here's what it's going to do for you. Which one of those feels better as a retiree? Well, I like to know that someone over there knows the Sharpe ratio and my standard deviations, but I don't really care. What I really care is, what did my money do and what can it do for me?
What will it continue to do? Yeah.
Yeah.
For
what
me.
life can
What's
this
in
build?
it for me? It's the question at the end of the day, the question in any case scenario, in any circumstance in life, it all boils down to, what does it mean for me?
Yes.
Same thing.
And you see these guys who, when they get it in the pros and they turn it into this big, I just saw this article about Kevin Durant, how he has bought like 10 or 15 different companies and then blown them up into huge companies. And he never talks about it.
Blowing them up in a good way. Usually when you blow it up, it's like, okay,
No,
he blew it in a good way. Okay.
Yeah. He has a wonderful eye for opportunity. And what he does is he just takes it, he buys the company, lets them run it, and it grows into this really big thing. And he's well, maybe
we need to start the Kevin Durant Financial College for Athletes. Maybe that sounds like how do we get that? How do we get Kevin on this podcast?
Right. And he's one of these guys, like Shaq goes out and talks about it because he likes to help people.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant just kind of keeps his head down and does his thing. But he'll have more money in retirement than he ever had playing.
Yeah.
Because he figured it out.
Not because of his playing money.
No, someone spoke into his life and taught him, and he is taking it and running with it.
Yeah.
So whether you're making 100 million, making 10 million, you're making $1 million, or you're just making it happen, education will lead to comfort.
Yeah.
And again, not that you have to be some doctorate in finance or anything else, but understanding, what did my money do and what can it do for me? If you understand those two things, you will live a much better retired life because it makes sense and you understand, all right, here's how I'm going to live. When the markets pull back, we saw just in the last week or two, quick market corrections and then a quick market recovery. All right, well, do I need to sweat it when things go bad? The market drops 5%. Do I need to know? No, I understand that this is going to happen and here's what my money's going to do. And at the end of the day, here's how I live. So retirement is about living, not about worrying. And the best way to not worry is to understand and move on. And that's what we're trying to build here.
Yeah. Empowering yourself with information, with education about what you work so hard to earn and save is the goal of the plans that Mike and his team build for everybody that comes into their office, that meets with them. They can work to do the same for you, empower you with information about your savings and what it will do for you. What does it mean for you in retirement? So if you have these questions, if you're ready to get that clarity about your savings, visit us at michigansretirementcoach.com. We also have links posted in the show notes. It begins with a complimentary review process, going through what you've saved and then helping you again to understand, have more clarity, empower you with information so that you know the direction that you're headed. And maybe if you need to adjust that direction, Mike and his team, they're here to help. So visit us, michigansretirementcoach.com.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit michigansretirementcoach.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.